Hello guys, this is Mark at jazzguitarlessons.net. Welcome to the short vlog on, well, it's going to be a big bite to chew. It's transcending time. So I wanted to shoot this video because I got in touch with, I got a little session with Steve, one of my mentorship coaching students, yesterday. And we talked about time. And I figured there's these ways of getting a good time feel. You know, all the teachers will tell you, well, it's good rhythms, it's about time or whatever. But how do you do it, actually, is what I want to do in this current vlog. And there's 4 different techniques I teach. And I realized that I was teaching them sort of not necessarily in order, and I would always give tips and pointers, whatever. But now I found a way to really formalize them. So let's get going. Make sure you got your guitar. There's there's at least 3 of the 4 that you could use your guitar and play along with me. So there's 4 different, sorry for kicking the table. Yeah, my phone is unstable on that thing. So 4 different ways to master time and transcend and get a good time feel. The thing that we are looking to do is get less caught up. To tell you what the reason for this whole happening of vlog is, well, look at this. If you're playing this and you're stuck here and you're stuck about B flat 7, sharp 11, and the C flat, the 3rd finger, and this and that, then often you will lose track of time. So when you hear the difference between a very experienced or a legendary jazz player and a player that's just okay, often it's not about the scales and the arpeggios that are different. It's mostly about how does it feel, how does the time feel, the delivery, right? In French we say interprétation. It's the performance of it that really makes or break it. And seldom do we have lessons and pointers on how to actually achieve this and what's the method for practicing them. So here we go. Sorry, that was my long introduction. Number 1, counting. Yeah, I know. Ever since I started coaching people more closely, people would say, Mark, we always hear you counting. We always hear you counting in the videos. It's nuts. You're always counting. I saw an interview about 5-10 years ago with Pat Metheny, which he says, what's happening in your mind when you're soloing? It's like triple, 1, 2, 3, right? So whether you're, let's just do a B flat blues. Make sure you're able to count with me. Even if you decide to play chords and whatever, just count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all that's required. Let's get going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. It doesn't sound like it, but I'm counting in my mind always like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So this tip is going to save you more often than not. And I had a student a while back, maybe 10 years ago, who said, Mark, I'm counting now, I'm doing my scales and my tune. I'm playing on a standard. How soon can I stop counting? And I said this in other vlogs. And the answer comes in the form of a rhetorical question, which is, how soon can you let go of the steering wheel when you're driving your car? I mean, you're an experienced driver, right? So why would you need to hold this like? The answer is never. You're always counting. You're always finding where beat 1 is and counting in your mind, even if it doesn't come out, that at least you know where you are. The typical issue, so I'm going to talk about the caveat, is the issue with not counting is if there's a silence, we typically eat it. And if we play the next note closer than it should be, and there's not enough of silence, it means we're rushing. So someone that plays really well with a good feel has a feel of laid back, not rushing. That's our goal ultimately. And we're all, when we get caught up in our fingers, we're all culprit of rushing ahead. That's really the key takeaway here. So number 1, counting. Let me move on to number 2, recording yourself. So there's nothing we can really do in this vlog about this, but the more you hear yourself, the better you're going to get and sound and be less in denial about what you do. All right, let me take an example. Tim Grover was the trainer that made Michael Jordan be the Michael Jordan we know. And he was a physical trainer, rehab, basketball coach. But not coach of a team, but trainer of Michael Jordan privately. And that's one of the first things they do, even at that level. Kobe Bryant, whatever. Here's a tape of last night's game. Watch yourself. Guys on the elite level still watch themselves and listen to themselves. So there's a point where you will reach that point if you record yourself. And I mean, I'm recording vlogs and whatever, so I have a good opportunity to always hear my playing, but you could do it on your phone, you can do it on computer, record yourself, listen back. Even if it's a minute per week, you're going to gain so much benefit out of getting a better sense of time when doing that, because when you're playing and you're caught up and you record, then you listen to yourself like, oh, I didn't know it sounded like that. However, on the flip side of this, like all the other way, there is, say, Pat Metheny level, where he's just playing and recording, and then when he's listening to the recording, it's like, yeah, that's how it sounded. I know because I was there. So there's a point, an awareness and a detachment, a perspective that comes with recording yourself a lot, which was my second tip. So number 1, counting. Number 2, recording yourself. Number 3, there's countless ways to practice with a metronome, which I don't want to go too deep in for today, but I'll give you my, let's do my top three favorite ways. You could put the metronome on every quarter note. That's a given. Like, 1, 2, go 3, 4. Right, so pretty obvious. That's 108. So if you want to do it jazz mode, you put the tempo halftime and you play on 2 and 4. There's another video of mine that's like 10 years old on YouTube, which you can find about this. So a 1, 2, a 1, 2, a 3, 4. Right? And then those are my 2 favorite ways. A lot of playing in jazz happens with your metronome on 2 and 4, and there's other means to do, which I'll just briefly skim over because they're good tools. And the point is, you can't bring the metronome with you on the bandstand or a jam session, but it's a fixed point of reference in time. So if you're able to play with it, and the less point of reference you have to be accountable for more of the beat. Like metronome on all 4 beats, you have all 4 of them. If you have metronome 2 and 4, you have half of them. So you're more responsible for holding on to what the time is. And if you get too caught up in your fingers, the metronome will slowly drift and you'll be like, where am I? So that's one of the tools to use. Let me show you another tip that I shared in another vlog, actually. So playing double time, playing fast. It's a video I shot a while back. So think of this as 3 of each beat. 3, 3. A 1, 2. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, ba 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 da, ti ba ba da, ti da ba da, ti 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it's clicking once per bar. That's fun because that's 2 and 4 at the halftime. And the last way of doing it, which is unbearable, I won't even demonstrate, but you could have a fixed moving point of reference with your metronome. Just stuff to strengthen your sense of time, right? So play on a song, improvise on standard, but this click is clicking every 5 beats. Scary. I won't do it, but I'll show you how to set it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See, so the metronome, the point of reference is drifting away. The disadvantage of this is if you put your metronome at 40, your actual BPM is 200. So the slowest you can actually play is 200, which is really difficult. So that's my 3rd way. So to recap, counting, recording yourself, using the metronome to strengthen your sense of time and beat. And the last one, which I'll just, of course, skim over, my 4th method, is pacing. We all, well, maybe except like, I don't know, John Coltrane or Keith Jarrett, they're forgiven. We all play too much. We all play way too much. We play beyond what we actually hear. Or, well, I think we'll forgive Miles also, because Miles didn't play that much. So if you want to play better, make sure that you pace yourself. Not only as far as a story arc, like you listen to a Wes Montgomery solo, right? He's starting slow, spacing himself, a few lines and a few octaves and a few chords, like, wow, there's that. But there's also pacing yourself within a solo, within a line, or within a smaller micro component, not just the entire solo. If you improvise, you could pace yourself by just literally doing play and rest. Meaning, you play something, shut up, and then play your next thing. That's what I call my intuitive pacing. So you can do it. It's pretty easy. You do this play, then don't play, right? So shut up once in a while, right? What I like to do is that's my first method for pacing. I have 3 methods for pacing. The first method for pacing is good because you get to intuitively start again. And my own measuring stick is when I hear the echo of my previous idea in my playing. I'm like, I heard it, I digested it, meaning the audience also digested it. And then I play my next thing. So it's just leaving your ears room to catch up with what you've played and not just like trusting the fingers to do their thing. And there's plenty more things we could discuss about. I could shoot an entire video on pacing, actually. Pacing, number 2, is the Miles Davis approach, which I like. I love Miles. And Miles said a lot of cryptic stuff, but he said only play on your third impulse. Meaning that you get to play a line, so you're soloing, right, on B-flat blues with the metronome or backing track, whatever. And then you go, no. There's an idea, and you go, nope, nope, yes. Whatever, right? So you say no twice, and then you say yes, meaning that your musical impulse, you sort of put the brakes on. You refrain it a little bit. Like, don't, to quote of one of my teachers, don't blow your load in the first bar, right? Just like, take it easy, like chill. And when you finish your idea, you repeat that. You play an idea, and then you go stop, and you go no, no, yes. Stop, no, no, yes, etc. That's my second way of pacing. The third way of pacing, so actually we did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 is like 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. And I'll put this in the description, actually. And the fourth way of pacing yourself is the third way of pacing yourself. So 4.3 is using a mad scientist approach. And I love doing that because you gain control over the bar lines. So say, I want to play 2 bars, rest 2 bars. So solo 2 bars, rest 2 bars. Or rest 2 bars, solo 2 bars. Or 4. Play 4 bars, rest 4 bars. As soon as you start to do this, you say, oh, it's pretty easy, right? Yes. But then if you start to do odd numbers of bars, so I'll give you an example. Print out a B-flat blues chord grid, like the chord progression. Print it like 5 times. And then say, I will solo 3 bars and rest 2 bars. So it's a 5-bar count. So it's going to take 5 choruses for this to come over. So just out with a highlighter, right? Outline when you're supposed to play and leave blank when you're not supposed to play. And then you have to come in and make your ideas fit these bars. So you will wind up playing in unfamiliar corners of bars and you still have to put your ideas together. So just to recap, you could do this with like 7 bars, like play 3 and rest 4, etc. So it's going to have you play in different places. So the take on pacing is just getting a perspective and more being further and detached from your knowledge and go into the listening instead. And instead of being caught up, you get to state things with, you're making better musical statements. I think that's what we could say. So just to recap, once again, my name is Marc at jazzguitarsons.net. Before I recap, I have a lot, this and way more that I work on with my own mentorship students. If you're interested to see how we could develop a plan for you, this is what I do right now with 10 students. It's a handful of people. It's not for everybody, but we can get on a call. It's totally free of charge, and I can map out a custom blueprint for your own playing. Just head over to nextlevel.jazzguitarlessons.net. Next level, one word, jazzguitarlessons.net. Sorry, that's a mouthful. So to recap, we have 4 ways in which you can work on your sense of time to transcend your time feel and get better and get less caught up in your fingers while you're playing, less caught up in the chords and the changes and the arpeggios, etc. The 4 ways are as follows: counting, counting 1, 2, 3, 4 out loud or in your head. Number 2, recording yourself. Number 3, all the kinds of stuff you can work with a metronome or a reference point that is fixed or floating in a bar, or playing with a really good drummer that helps too. And or maybe that doesn't help because he's like spoon feeding you the time, but playing with really good drummers is really good. Playing with bad drummers might be good because then you're forced to hold your own. And number 4, pacing, which we subdivided in 3 categories. Pacing is pacing yourself, play and rest. 2, Miles Davis, only play on your third impulse. And number 3, we talked about the mad scientist approach of figuring out how many bars precisely you want to play and how many bars you want to rest. On that note, I will let you go. Please like and subscribe this video and share it with anyone you think might like it. And I will see you soon on the website, jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher. Take care, guys.